All right, so first I want to say shalom to all the brothers out there. I hope you brothers are having a very good Sabbath as always. And brothers, I want to ask you a question. Has the white man lied to you? Because a lot of you brothers, a lot of you quote unquote black males in this society, and black people in general, you start to fall into that 400 years of slavery nonsense, which I spoke on a little bit in this channel, in this existence of this channel. And it's a very toxic doctrine because it traps our people, especially a lot of the brothers who run around the internet claiming that they're, who claim that title of being pro-black. But in this series, I'm going to show you, brothers, that so-called black history is a lot deeper than they want to tell you in the school system. And also that a lot of you brothers have royalty in your bloodline. And also that a lot of the notable figures of the Renaissance or just in history in general who you think are Caucasoid are actually men of color or so-called black women or whatever you brothers like to call it. Here's Wikipedia. As you can see, we're under the little folder that says London and theatrical career. And I'm going to read the first paragraph for you. It says, "It is not known definitely when Shakespeare began writing, but contemporary allusions and records of performance shown that several of his plays were on the London stage by 1592. By then, he was sufficiently known in London to be attacked in print by the playwright Robert Greene. And Shakespeare had a lot of detractors and people who didn't like him back in his day because Shakespeare was a very bombastful. He was a very confident man. He's a very cocky dude, as they would call him nowadays, very cocky brother. But we're going to read this little detraction from Robert Greene. It says, "There is an upstart crow, beautified with our feathers, that with his tiger's heart wrapped in a player's hide, suppose he is as well able to bombast out a blank verse as the best of you, and being an absolute Jonas factotum, is in his own consent the only shake scene in a country." Now, brothers, let's focus on that first little sentence where it says there is an upstart crow. And he's using that term crow on Shakespeare. And I'm going to show you, brothers, what that term crow really means. Etymology.com. And I'm going to read it for you. It says in bold text, Jim Crow. Black man. 1838, American English, originally the name of a minstrel character, which the minstrel is something I'll have to get to because hip hop, or at least modern day hip hop, is really a modern day minstrel, but that's something I'll get to later. That's not really on the forefront of my list right now, but I'll get to it. Name of a black minstrel character in a popular song and dance act by T.D. Rice, 1808 to 1860, that debuted 1828 and attained national popularity by 1832. Brothers, I'm gonna transition real quick. All right, it says, where and how Rice got it or wrote it is a mystery. It really isn't much of a mystery. The elite Caucasians, they are so-called white people, so-called Caucasians. They know what that term crow really means, or what it used to mean. Even before that, crow had been a derogatory term for a black man as an adjective from 1833 in reference to the song, associated with segregation dates from 1841 in reference to separate railroad cars for blacks in Massachusetts, so-called blacks. Modern use as a type of racial discrimination is from 1943. Brothers, that term Jim Crow, they didn't just invent it out of nowhere. The elite Caucasians, the elite so-called Caucasians, quote unquote white people, they know what that term crow really means. Even till this day, they know, or those are the Caucasians who are actually dealing with truth, which most are not. But, brothers, I'm going to show you a couple of pictures or popular, images of Shakespeare that are going to show you, what he quote unquote looked like. Brothers, as you can see, we're here on a portrait of Shakespeare. Of course, we all know that this is a fake portrait, but I'm going to show you, brothers, a couple of more. Here's another one. This is another fake portrait. And here we have the last one, which I believe this is at his grave. And this one shows him more of his real depiction. as a quote unquote man of color, but as you can see, they still gave him kind of Caucasoid features. But brothers, I also wanted to point out something, because this is something I just noticed, is you always see Shakespeare, even in the fake portraits that have been, totally totally faked. He'll have the earring in his ear. Brothers, what Caucasian man today in modern times has earrings? You'll very rarely see a Caucasian, whether you're in school or just in the real world. It's very rare you see a Caucasian man. And just in general, brothers, that play Othello, what white man, quote unquote white man, would write a play about a black male and a white female being together, and the white male and the white male is jealous of the black male, so he puts counterproductive and negative thoughts in his head? Like, it's just a bunch of nonsense. But brothers, this just shows you how much of your real history is hidden from you, because they can't let this type of information get out, and it probably really never will get out. But it states in the scriptures that all things that are hidden are to come to light. So this is on Napoleon's Wikipedia. It's under the image category, and I'm going to read it for you. It says, a personal friend of Napoleon said that when he first met him as a young man, Napoleon was only notable for the dark color of his complexion. Okay, I'm going to slide over real quick. As it says, I'm going to read it for you again. It says, Dennis Davidov met him personally and considered him remarkably average in appearance. His face was slightly swarthy. Now, as you can see it, he said his face was swarthy. I'm going to show you, brothers, what swarthy really means. All right, brothers, so this is a screenshot that I took from etymology.com. As you see, it says swarthy in bold text, and it says adjective. It says dark colored, especially of skin. 1580s, unexplained alteration of swarthy. 1570s. All right, brothers, and I hope you brothers are starting to realize how much of your real history is being hidden from you, and really hidden in plain sight. All right, brothers, so we're currently going to be doing Beethoven, and this is probably going to end out the video. But I'm on a book. This book is called Race and Civilization. You brothers can look it up. I'm on page 123. And this book, fun fact, was actually written by a Caucasian German man, so-called Caucasian. But we're going to read it. I'm going to read the second paragraph. It says, the pigmentation of the hair, eyes, and skin, also in many ways geniuses, was dark. As Waldman himself proves in his works, Lombroso even advanced the opinion that genius and dark pigmentation are coincident. All right, allegedly, he forgot to add allegedly at the end. On Goethe and Beethoven, for example, we pose studies which take very careful into account all contemporaneous evidences. Goethe had black hair, brown eyes, yellowish in later life, a distinct dark complexion, yellow teeth, and a slightly crooked nose, which even excited the suspicion of some modern anti-Semitism. He was not particularly tall, but seemed so owing to his upright bearing. Beethoven was short and corpulent. And he had coal black hair, dark eyes, and skin. His face was quite ugly. How you gonna diss him like that? With strong, protruding jaws, receding forehead, and flat, thick nose. One may easily trace in Beethoven's face slightly negroid features. Okay, brothers, and for any of you brothers who actually look up this book, earlier this morning, I was trying to actually buy this book, but the book's almost $900 on Amazon. All right, and for good reason. Brothers got to understand, when you see these books, especially on Amazon, that are rated $1,000, $800, that's because the powers that be or the elite are trying to hide something from you. All right, brothers, so I'm currently on another PDF of a book. This is a book by the name, I think it is, of The Man Who Freed Music. This is a biography of Beethoven. And this is actually written by a Caucasian man named, I believe his name is Robert Haven. Haven's his middle name. I forgot how to pronounce his last name, but I'm going to read the second paragraph and the third paragraph. I'm going to start at the second paragraph. It says, at 13, Spangy blossomed out into the dignity of court organist. Through Frau Fisher's eyes, we see him dressed up for a function at the castle, in sea green tailcoat, a flowered waistcoat of white stain, green knee breeches with buckles, white silk stockings, black rosetted shoes, with his crush hat under his left arm, his dagger at his side, and crowned with curls and a pigtail of real hair. This is her description of the boy. This is talking about Beethoven, all right? This book, like I said before, is a biography about Beethoven written by a Caucasian man. It says, this is her description of the boy himself. Short, stocky, broad shoulders, short neck, thick head, round nose, blackish brown complexion. Okay, brothers? Your history's right there. You just have to be able to do the research to actually find out what these historical figures and who they really were. All right. And also, brothers, when you're on your way to discovering the truth about a lot of these figures that I'm going to expose in this series, you got to be able to roll with the punches, as well as you got to be able to tune out the noise, because most people who are stuck in the matrix, when they find out you don't want to do that anymore, or you're trying to break their doctrine or their matrix doctrine, they usually try to throw insults at you like you're crazy, or you're a what's the term the white trash on the internet like to use, a culture vulture, or an Afrocentric. That's a main one. But brothers, for the most part, whenever they throw things like Afrocentric and culture vulture your way, they're usually trying to keep you asleep and put you back in the matrix, which unfortunately a lot of our people are still in. All right, brothers, so this is going to be the conclusion of the video. I wanted to say, as always, thank you all for watching, and I hope you all have a very good Sabbath. And I'm going to end this video out in the scripture. This is Luke, the 8th chapter and the 17th verse. It says, for nothing is secret that shall not be made manifest, and anything hid that shall not be known and come abroad. All right, brothers, Shalom.